Hey crafty friends, it's Rick. I'm back with another video. Today we are going to make a super cute little bookmark using products from Pixi Dust Designs. I'm going to be using the Be Strong and Courageous stamp and die set, a little scrap of the Bella Flowers pattern paper, and the Wizarding World bookmark dies. I'm sorry, Wizard bookmark dies. I'm going to use this one right here with the stitched edged. There's 4 different designs you can pick from. We're going to make a cute little bookmark, perfect for a Bible or to give to someone that is maybe in need. So I've already cut out all my parts and pieces, and I did go ahead and ink blend around them to add a little bit of texture. All right, so we're going to build up our little line first. So I've got my body. I've got his little belly. I'm going to go ahead and add it first. And I'm going to use liquid glue for all of this. So I'm just going to line that up in the etched lines. I've got his little head, which is right here. It's going to line up right there. And we're going to tuck his little ears in before we put that down. So I've got my parts to my ears. I've got this layer. I've got my outside layers and the inside layers. So I'm going to do these first. That's my little paw. Here's my other little ear. And I've got my little inside pieces we'll add. But I'm going to go ahead and layer up this little piece. You don't technically have to layer this part up, I don't think. You could actually just probably do the interior piece and be okay if you wanted to. Since I have them cut out, I'm going to go ahead and layer both of these together. Just to add a little bit more interest. So I'm going to go ahead and add this layer over here. And then I'll take and add a few little dots of glue into there. And I'm going to use a pickup tool. Move that over there where I can actually get to it. I can layer that on the inside. And then we'll layer our second little ear piece in. And then I'm going to tuck these in because there's a little opening right there. I'm going to tuck those in there first. So I'm going to take and grab my little ear. I'll add a little liquid glue back behind there. And I'm going to pop that little opening up just a little bit and slide my little ear in. And I can clean off any of that excess glue. I could also just go ahead and slide this in and add a little liquid glue on the back side. Just like that. Then I can go ahead and layer this piece up. So we'll go ahead and line that up. Now we'll layer him on. So we've got our little paw. I'm going to layer on next. And then I've got my other little paw over here. It's going to get tucked back there. Excuse me. All right, we're going to go ahead and add our little face, and then we'll add all of our little parts to his little face. So I can do his little snout. And I cut it from our same craft cardstock I used for the mane and his little tail, which we'll see in a minute. We've got our white part of our eyes. That. Get our other little eye. And we'll layer on the other part of his little eye in a second. I'm going to add a couple dots of glue for his eyebrows. Pop those into place. I'm going to add a couple little dots around his little eye. that up. We're going to add this little eye. It's right on top there. And we'll add our other little eye right over there. So we'll add a little liquid glue for his mouth. Add his little mouth on. And then all I gotta do is add his tail and the back part of his little tail, the tuft of his tail. So I add a little liquid glue there. We'll pick up his little tuft. Now we'll add that on. Move him to the side. And then we've got some sunflowers. And there's two different sizes. We've got a bigger one and a smaller one. I've cut out 4 of them. So we'll go ahead and layer up our pieces of our sunflower. There's only 2 or 3. There's the centers and the stems. We'll add our small ones. And then I will add those to the stems after we get them on the bookmark. Base layer from a light green cardstock, and I also cut it from a white cardstock so that I could back it, a little bit heavier cardstock, and stamped our sentiment on it. But I do have my little decorative piece that I've cut from the Bella Flower pattern paper. So I'm going to add this on first. And we'll layer that on there. We'll go ahead and add liquid glue on this. And we will sandwich this together. Then we are going to add our little line on, and he's going to stick off a little, and that's okay because he's a bookmark. I'm perfectly fine with him sticking off a little bit. So we're going to have him there. And then we're going to take and add our little flowers, a couple of those on the front. So I'll add liquid glue at the bottom of that. And then we'll add a large one and a small one. So we got a large stem and a small stem. Add this one. I'm going to tuck it over more to the side there. We will add that. Sunflower on. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to add the other 2 to the back. So we'll go ahead and add our large one first. And we will add that one. We'll add this one over here. And we'll add our other little sunflower right there. And then all I have to do is run my ribbon through. I just pulled that from my stash in a color that would kind of match our pattern paper. I'm just going to loop it and then slip knot. And then I'm going to trim that off a little. All right, my friends, so here is our finished bookmark. And it's great to share or maybe for you to put in your Bible. Be strong and courageous, Joshua 1:9. And we've got our cute little line on the front with some sunflowers. If you need any of the products you've seen used today, I have them all linked and listed in the video description below.